Greetings, everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for being here with me today. You are now tuned into the podcast Journey of a Healed Success Stepper. And I'm Dr. Dorina Shine, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. So let's get right into the topic today. I had a question, and I want to share in the question, how did I choose to get up, have the courage to get up after such a hard, horrific fall? And for those of you who know about the channel, thank you so much for being here. All my subscribers, and for all the new ones that are thinking about subscribing, over here on the playlist at youtube.com, you can go to my link, Dr. Dorina Shine, and you will find a playlist titled Emotional Healing Solutions. That's where I talk about my journey within 12 steps of how my emotional journey took format before I ever picked up in any way of addiction. Okay. And then I share how State of Ohio versus Dorina Shine, through a lacing, involuntarily ingested, confused me to the point where I was facing 32 years of my life, which would in turn make it a life sentence because I was already in my 30s when it happened. So how did I choose to get up after such a hard fall? The only thing I can do is tell you that remember back in the day, and I'm sure everyone would remember this, before you came to, the planet, you were cocooned in your mother's womb, right? You were safe, you were comfortable, you were amazing. It was warm, it was dark, it was comforting. You were able to eat whenever you wanted to eat. You were able to hear what was going on around you and be entertained by your mother's, present moment situations, right? And then you came to the planet. And when you came to the planet, the doctor smacked you on your behind, made you cry for the first time. It was cold. They were putting you on this whatever, wherever you were at. You got your first bath, and then it felt like, that's different. That's like artificial water compared to the water that I was just in the cocoon, right? You became a butterfly without having even known it. That's what it felt like to me. How I chose to get back up. So it's kind of like coming out of the cocoon and then reawakening to yourself that you don't yet know. It's like, realizing that comfort is not always the way to go when you're going through your challenges and struggles, because you're not going to be able to just stay there. So then that means you're going to be bullied if you don't get up and find something to fight for, if you don't get up and find something to be passionate about. Many people, I remember when I was younger, people were like, oh, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to live. You only live once, and you never know when the time is going to go. And then they had this preconceived notion that something was going to happen before they turned 24, 25. So they weren't prepared for life. And then, lo and behold, 50, 60 years later, still here. You know what I'm saying? So that person didn't have the initiative to mature like they would have if they chronologically went through the alphabet, like going from A to Z chronologically. No, they went to A, B, C, jumped over C, went to X, Y, and thought they had something. But in between all of that time, they never gave themselves a chance to learn the chronology of each lesson, of each letter, and what it represented, how it sounded, what the vowel initiatives were. Was it a consonant? Was it an adjective? Was it a verb? Was it, like so many different things when you put it all together. And so I felt that I was not going to want to be one of those who thought that it was over before it even began. No, I wanted to live my life in victory. I wanted to live my life in success. I wanted to be the version that I am leaving today as a legacy for my generation under me, that it is possible. It is, available to you, but you have to want it. No, I can't throw anything down anyone's throat. I can't regurgitate anything to someone that'll make them have the magic pill to let them know that this is what it is. And I had to learn that within myself. I had to learn to go within me in order to find the growth that I needed for myself in order to mature enough to be able to see the lesson. If you're able to see the lesson, you're going to get the memo. And you're going to graduate from that test. So it's kind of like if you don't get up, you're going to be bullied. And life will bully you. And the bullies in life will bully you. And the narcissists will pay the bullies to bully you. And then you have to fight for basic fundamental rights in an area where 25% of people are blind, deaf, and dumb in a society, and they're not going to even wake up at all. The other 25% is just sitting there as bullies because they see an opportunity. There's an opportunist. So they would rather be a narcissist and be a bully, to bully those, to push them into either a deeper realm of whatever they're existing under or a higher realm of what they're existing under. So then you have 25% of society that is just going to, get in where they fit in. Some will, out of that 25%, will rise to the occasion and be responsible and be accountable. But the basics, they're going to get pissed at those who choose to go around the realm of higher vibrational learning of who they are, standing up for what they believe in. Sometimes in the physical realm, you got to fight the power, but you got to remember, when I say fight the power, it's kind of like if a person doesn't know how to swim, and then there's a lifeguard, and the lifeguard sees this person fighting for, help me, and they run over. They have to prepare and be, in that anxiety-driven moment, they're going to have to sit back and think of how they're going to help this person. Because if they're not careful, their lives can be in danger. It's just like, holding someone accountable for waking you up. You're at a hotel, you had a good weekend and you're going to go to do business today. And last night you called the front desk and you told them, wake me up at 6 a.m. I need to get to a meeting and I need enough time. So just do a wake-up call. If they choose not to do a wake-up call, is the future success of what you planned for your life in their hands? Are they responsible if you don't make it to that meeting? Or do you have a backup? So even if they get busy, or say someone calls off, or say that the message didn't get the memo, or the electronic device was resetting and rebooting, now you want to blame everyone. See, I don't blame my neighbor for lacing me. I blame myself for believing that someone had the same value within life as I would. And that was a rude awakening. Rudimentary awakening. But knock on wood, everything turned out good. But for those of us who have to get back up, the fight is the fight. And you got to make that fight work for you. You have to put yourself in a position where you're going to demand that people respect you so they won't have a chance to humiliate, degrade, embarrass, or to harm you. And that's what the lesson of life taught me when I got knocked down so damn hard. Get back up. Sometimes you got to fight the air. I remember what movie was that? It wasn't I think it was Boys in the Hood with Ice Cube and Trey and all of them. And remember when Trey went to his girlfriend's house and he was like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, and he started punching the air like, he just wanted to hit something. He just wanted to lash out and just feel something. Emotion is that. And emotional healing solutions is the process that lets you know that there is something happening to you before any addiction allows you to pick anything up. That means that there's going to be a precursor that's going to help you feel the energy, feel the passion within you to just want to get up. You see, instead of him just crying and bending down, and eventually he did, but he showed a little, manhood up in there. He started punching the air, and then he went into his girlfriend's energy and shared an emotional space with her. That could have been the very thing that would have been able to save him from going out there hurting the wrong person. So, we don't judge. So how I chose to get back up was to be a success. That is the legacy I choose to leave behind. Because when I realized that I had been bullied, I'm like, what? That was something done on purpose? It wasn't a psychological breakdown. It wasn't something that, that just happened to me. It was done on purpose. Well, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. And it's not going from A to B to C to X to Y to get to Z. It is to go through the whole chronological alphabet to understand each and every lesson. And that's the message for today. That is my answer for the question, what happened? How did I get the courage in order to get back up after such a hard fall? We all were born in a cocoon, but what is the difference between those of us who choose to keep going, those of us who do not be enabled by the narcissistic practices of traumatized individuals that hurt individuals? What makes the great great? That's what we need to be focused on in today's society. Because if you think about it, too many people are unaware of their ability to be their better version. And that's what we're here to do over here at Dr. Dorina Shine. We're here to help with emotional healing solutions and giving programs that really help empower you and inspire you. And universal leadership courses to put that into action through a leadership program. You might not want to hear my story. You might just want to get right into the work, into healing yourself and to help yourself get out of this dark night. So the universal leadership course is there for that. And then for those who want to, extend themselves and have a passion for an idea, business development courses through our Scales to Success LLC project is also available, where we meet you right where you are, plug you into the ethics and morality of business, and then watch you grow. So if you're interested in any of those programs, you can email me at shinedorina@gmail.com, where we will give you our advertising cost, our commercial cost, and then I'll move you into scheduling. That is, again, Shine Dorina, SHINE, Dorina, DORINA. And also there's no dots, asterisks, spaces, zeros. It's all letters. If you email anything else or see anybody reach out to you relating to me, that is not me. It is a fake scammer. Report that. So it is shinedorina@gmail.com. So we can schedule you. We do one-on-ones. We do seminars all over the world. We can be virtual or one-on-one. So we thank you so much, and we will see you next time.